Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. And today we're going to be talking about the fabulous finale, Rainbow High Season 3, Episode 18. We finally get a close to this Rainbow Vision thing. And now that I'm looking back on it, I think we might have been a little bit too harsh for Rainbow High Season 3. After all, it is a kids show. A kids show that's trying to sell products to kids, nonetheless. But I do feel like this finale does wrap things up well in a satisfying way. There are little bits of things that I wish could have been resolved in this episode, but after all, how much content can you squeeze into a 7-minute YouTube episode? But anyway, enough of me talking. We're gonna get right into this episode and review it. So let's get started. So we start the episode off immediately where we left off last time, with Sabrina's solo performance, My Heart Wants to Be a Star. And one thing I like so much about this episode about is how it's consistent with the rules. One thing that's not very known of for Rainbow High Season 3 is being consistent with what's going on. I like how the writers of the show actually considered the previous rules stated at the beginning of the series and didn't just let it slide just for the sake of, oh, the plot and this and that, and Rainbow High needs to win. And another thing I like about this episode is how it draws the line at the protagonists always have to win. Of course, there are plenty of other shows that do things similar like this, but I do feel like in a kids show, it's very uncommon for the protagonist or the main characters not to win or succeed, if you know what I mean. If you know what I mean, handing the trophy over to someone else. Okay, so back to the review. Delilah and Coco are in the backstage area waiting for Sabrina as she walks off stage. Coco says that she's always realized that Sabrina was the true star, which honestly I can't take that seriously because just a couple of seconds ago you were working for everyone, but I guess you better find business where you can. Anyway, Delilah is here and she's so happy that Sabrina was able to perform on her own. Now, this is where things get interesting. So, me and Violet are talking about are the Rainbow Divas as a whole, including Sabrina, eliminated considering the fact that they changed their music, the performance, and pretty much everything else, which was stated earlier on in the series that no changing of music or performance or costuming, which basically everything was changed. Another thing I like is how they handled Phaedra's character here in this episode. She was still decently sassy, but not too sassy that she was overly mean, like in that episode where they fired River for no reason. Oh, sorry, they fired River for drama. Okay, so the Royal Three are performing, and not gonna lie, this has to be my favorite song to ever come out of Rainbow Vision for several reasons. This is personally just my opinion, but Spotlight is my favorite because it's super catchy and it has like some great lyrics. The choreography isn't perfect, but it's not bad at all, actually. I feel like Not Afraid, Hope You're Not Afraid of the Dark would have been my favorite, but I feel like Spotlight is just so much more upbeat and catchy for me. And another thing I like is that every single glitch Sabrina song has been like emotional or whatever. And I can't really care for emotional songs because most of the time they're boring. Like, there's nothing wrong with an emotional song, but like, why can't we have a song that conveys emotion, like deep emotion, that's upbeat and catchy? Why does it have to be the same violin, piano, kind of melodramatic, sad kind of thing? Why does it always have to be that? Why can't we get an emotional song that has lyrics talking about something emotional that's happening with the character that also has an upbeat kind of music to it? But whatever, that's just my opinion. Another thing I'm going to say is the plot twist ish at the end of the episode. Now, this is a major spoiler for whoever hasn't watched the episode yet. I doubt you would have not watched the episode yet and you're watching this review, but whatever. If you don't know this big spoiler, I suggest you skip like 30 seconds or so ahead, so just so I don't spoil it. Okay, final warning, I'm about to spoil something. I do really like how the Royal Three win Rainbow Vision. Even though it wasn't too big of a surprise because on the whole Rainbow High voting thing, everyone obviously voted for Royal Three. And I feel like there's a reason. One, just beside the fact that just beside the fact that I like Royal Three's song the best and their dolls the best, I feel like this works perfectly because like the outside people coming in and stealing the show eventually, everyone's been so focused on Shadow High and Rainbow High, and I feel like having neither of them win is the perfect solution to the problem. It works best narratively, and I feel like the Royal Three generally deserve it because if you've noticed, both the Storm Twins and the Devious Twins have been sabotaging and doing all that other stuff to ensure that they win. But the Royal Three have been clean through it all. They've done nothing wrong, and I personally feel like they're the people who deserve it the most. So I'm so happy that they won. Another thing I noticed that was really cute during the Royal Three Spotlight performance is that Luna glanced over at Sunny when she was cheering for the Royal Three, and there's this very cute interaction between Sunny and Luna where, like, Sunny notices that Luna kind of just stared at her for a sweet second there, and she just kind of smiles and waves back, which is something I love so much considering that Sunny and Luna, despite being twin sisters, have never interacted once. And I feel like it's so cute that they finally get to interact. And I love Luna's little smile at the end of it. I feel like that just works so well. I mean, like, literally no words were exchanged, but it's just such a perfect interaction for the two of them, which is something I really like. I get that closure that Sunny and Luna, like, even if they were mad at each other previously, they're happy now, everything's all right, and everyone's fine. Now, let's get back to the review of the actual episode. The Royal Three walk on stage, and Glitch pops up out of nowhere saying that the judges have something that they'd like to announce. Right before the voting, which is very interesting because I actually thought that Rainbow High was going to win just for the sake of boringness, but then Lou Wright walks up onto the stage and says that the Rainbow Divas have been eliminated from this year's Rainbow Vision because they broke the rules, which was changing their song and performance and the performers. Which, if you weren't there during the early episodes of season 3, Glitch specifically stated no changing or switching or cheating. And I like this little scene this where the Devious Twins are just like throw their phones and they're pissed off, but then the Storm Twins are smiling. I did like that. And I do like how Delilah apologizes to Sabrina as well because she's the one who wrote the song. But now that we are back to the voting, I like how Shadow High was already smiling to themselves, like, oh my gosh, we've won. But I think everyone's just been so busy with Shadow High and the rivalry between Rainbow High. Everyone just kind of forgot about the fact that the Royal Three are not from Rainbow High. I thought they were like that. I thought the Royal Three were kind of like Mina, where Mina is kind of from Rainbow High, but not really. Like she's an exchange student person ish. But I do like at the end of the day that the Royal Three won. And I love that they won because I don't know, like I said earlier, I feel like they deserve it the most. Not only does it work better narratively than having, oh, plot twist, Shadow High wins, or plot twist, Rainbow High wins, and they were the better ones all along. I feel like the Royal Three deserve it the most because there's been so much stigma between Rainbow High and Shadow High and all this drama with the rivalry. Meanwhile, the Royal Three has just have spent the most time working on their performances individually, doing the best they can, and generally they have not done anything wrong. They are just so innocent and they did nothing wrong. Another thing I have to say is Paris, honey, why is her voice so dry? I'm sorry. I could barely even hear her voice over the music. But whatever, the Royal Three win, and that's quite the sweet ending to the episode. The people who did not cheat or had any bad thoughts in their mind win at the end of the day, and I feel like that's really sweet. And then we get this final grasping shot of the Royal Three with their trophy, and that's it. That's the end. Now, I know the majority of us, including myself, weren't obsessed with season three, especially how it made this major shift in storytelling compared to season one and season two, and actually had an overarching plot. Which another thing I didn't like majority of season three was how they forgot plot points. But that's all I'm gonna talk about today. I liked this finale, and I hope you do too. Bye.